How'd you get into this business?
What's very interesting, I actually had a serendipitous moment when I was a college student. I happened to be traveling in Europe with a backpack, $5 a day back then, and I went in to hear a lecture by someone we all know who was talking about geosynchronous orbiting satellites. And I was fascinated with space, having come through the era of Sputnik and President Kennedy suggesting that we put a man on the moon, and we never knew how we were going to get there. And that's part of the innovative society and the disruptive society to figure it out. So I thought it'd be an interesting lecture to hear, and it was really so compelling to me. And the lecturer was Arthur C. Clarke, author of 2001: A Space Odyssey and many other great science fiction books, but also wrote about geosynchronous orbiting satellites, the science of it, because he's a scientist, coming out of the Second World War in 1945. And we had just launched the first one of them, and I thought, wow, this is so powerful. And we have to remember, it was the time of the Cold War back then. We really didn't know what was behind the Berlin Wall and the Great Wall of China. So today, of course, there is no Berlin Wall, and the Great Wall of China is a tourist attraction to bring people in, not keep them out. But I just thought this was such a powerful instrument, and that it would be powerful to be able to communicate with them, especially in television. Was something I knew about. I had part of my way, working my way through college, was as a television producer. So I thought this was really powerful. So that's what motivated me to veer off into satellites and what we could do to open up world communications.
Did you ever have a mentor during this time?
I had different mentors as I was growing up, and especially in college. Dr. Ripley, Joe Ripley, in my undergraduate college at the University of Wisconsin, was really someone who took great interest, and I had many professors that took great interest in me. I should say I was really very, very special in a lot of ways to them, I guess, because they were so wonderful in helping me out. But Dr. Joe Ripley was one of them, who really encouraged me and prodded me, and really wanted to see that I had a great vision for my future, which I did. I wanted to accomplish something really, spectacular. He was in the communications division, but I was really a science major also. So I was vacillating about going to medical school and thinking that might be a good place for me to go because I love biology. But when I met Arthur C. Clarke, the deal was sealed. I was going into satellite.
What was your greatest setback, and how did you deal with it?
I guess we all have setbacks at different times when we're doing things. I mean, I had a big challenge along the way in 1992 when Turner was launching TNT, and I was launching the Sci-Fi Channel, and Glenn Jones canceled USA across the whole spectrum of all his systems because he wanted to show favor and put on TNT in the place of where we were. And it was a big challenge in terms of the kind of battles that go on sometimes between programmers and distributors.
Still going.
And I remember something very unusual from getting the message, and I was given the message that they were canceling it, and then did I know that Glenn Jones was a Navy SEAL? And I thought, well, what does that have to do with our contract? What does that have to do with anything? He's a Navy SEAL. Well, good for him, I thought that was an unusual something to present to me as he was who I was up against, I guess, Yeah, but anyway, we took them to court, and we won our lawsuit and got reinstated on everything. And I think the interesting thing for me today is that one of the boards, I've been on many public boards and some private boards in the last 25 years, and one of them is Ion Media, and Carl Vogo, who was with Glenn at the time and had to renegotiate the contract with us. He and I are on the same board, and we get a lot of laughs over, it's just another thing in the industry. If that was the worst setback I ever had, I'm a lucky person.
New college graduate, getting out of school, doesn't know what they want to do. What would you say to them to get them into our industry?
It's a great time when you're just getting out of college because there are a lot of entry positions open. There are a lot of different things. As your stage in life, you are really excellent at social media and using the platforms that we have out there much more than the senior executives at companies are. So there's a real opening for you there, and get in and find out what you like. Pursue the things that you're interested in. I think that even if you have to start off as an intern, to get in, to talk to people, to introduce yourself, it's really getting yourself introduced to others in the industry that really leads to those jobs that, you know, you can sort of build out your career.
So you've seen a lot of change since 1975, and certainly the last 5 years have been full of change.
Yeah.
What do you see for the next 10? Where's our industry going to be?
Well, this is really fascinating because I work a lot in enterprise as well as in consumer. And when you really realize that the consumer habits have now taken over, and now they not only control the media on the consumer side of the business, but in enterprise, inside corporations, what consumers have at their, you know, in the palm of their hand is extremely powerful. And so they also have a very loud voice that they didn't have before. So the way companies are managed is going to be, you know, changing tremendously. That's one change. When you figure out that there will be another couple billion people coming online, in mobile, online, that can communicate, that need programs and services, that need education, that need healthcare, that need all the sorts of things that we have, I wake up every day and I see nothing but infinite possibilities. So I hope others can find a possibility that speaks to them the way I found satellite spoke to me.